This is Kate Baconsale. You're listening to Baconsale.
Let's close the gates on season 8. We'd argue it was pretty great. Kentucky Fried Chicken, quite finger-licking, Speedos and ice skates.
Yeah.
Let's recap season 8.
Jumping up in the air.
Open the bag and eat some Lays.
Open the bag and eat some Lays.
Quad Twin Battle Holiday.
Quad Twin Battle Holiday.
Thriller United. Boy bands bite it. We sure love season 8.
Yeah.
DB Cooper jumped from the plane.
DB Cooper jumped from the plane.
A tier 1 cage for Croc and Bane.
A tier 1 cage for a Croc and Bane.
Magpies got violent. Movies were silent. 2 scoops up each day. Gilmore to Gilmore. Hating my humps. Chatting car stuff with the Crumps. Pork and beans will soak your plate.
Pork and beans will soak your plate.
Please don't camp at Crystal Lake.
Please don't camp at Crystal Lake.
Dressing for classes, he wears sunglasses. Tier 1 seedless grapes.
Wow.
Listener to listener, it has been fun. From Joel and Zack and Kenton.
There we go. One take.
I could run through a wall.
There we go.
Wow.
So good to recap.
That was so much fun. Yeah, that was great. We should just, honestly, when you do these recap songs, Kent.
Yeah.
I really do feel, I'm like, well, we should just do that and then call the show. We're good.
But here's the problem. It's like, if you've missed a few episodes or not listened at all, it's a really weird song.
But it's a treat for us who've listened all this year and recorded all this year.
Yeah.
But welcome to Baconsale. I'm Joel.
I'm Kent.
And I'm Zack.
We'd like to thank you for listening to our last show, our Christmas Carol.
Christmas. Yeah.
Christmas Carol.
Sean Connery Christmas Carol.
We appreciate all of the comments, including Ashley Rose, who said, just got done listening to the episode. I agree with Joel.
Hey!
What favorites are
one
Disney's?
of the few?
Mickey's A Christmas Carol and A Christmas Carol with Alistair Sim. I used to think this version was boring when I was a kid, but sought out the DVD as an adult, and I truly enjoy it now.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Real good. 1951. If you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Crew Dutler said, great Christmas Carol episode. I love the story, and the book is one of my favorites. Sorry about you. I won't be seeing any of your new versions.
Right.
Come on, man. But I think I Know What You Did Past Christmas has the most promise. I mean, it's a good, horror movie.
Yeah.
None of us said Marley and Me. Jacob Marley and Me.
That
yeah.
good. Yeah.
And then Amy Judd said, I dislike all versions of this story. I avoid watching it. 0 stars. Do not recommend. Entertaining episode.
Sounds like she needs 3 ghosts to come visit her.
Visited
That's
by...
what I wrote.
But, I mean, 4 ghosts, technically.
Yeah.
There you
story.
go.
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate you playing along. A lot of people suggested, various episodes.
Yeah.
The Disney ones, quite popular. Go figure.
Yeah. Weird.
And we also, I was going to say, we thank everyone who participated in our December giveaway.
Woo-woo. Yeah.
And we are ready to draw a winner now on this episode. Are you guys ready?
Drum roll.
The winner is Rachel Allred.
Rachel Allred.
Rachel.
Hey, congratulations.
Rachel Allred. Yes, congratulations, Rachel. You have won a pack of 4 passes to the Great Room Escape in Layton, and you might be able to get to try Mission Save Christmas, which does end on January 7th. But if you're not able to get in for that, you can use these passes for another room as well.
Okay, cool.
So yes, it's 525 Ring Road in Layton. So we'll be contacting you. And while we were talking about that today, Zach, what else are we talking about today?
Today we're going to talk about Baconsale. How have we not been singing that season 8 song all year? Season 8.
I mean, we should have.
It's so good.
But the way Joel started the season actually kind of worked as well. Well, I should say another podcast by Zachary with 2 E's.
Yeah, Jolene and
right.
Kendra.
Yeah, with Blink-182.
We'll
Just
talk
can't
about
wait.
that.
Yeah.
Yes, this is our self-indulgent episode where we take a look back at what we did this past year.
Yay, us.
And so if this is your first episode of Baconsale, don't let it be your first episode of Baconsale.
Please don't.
Because you're not going to get most of the
I
references.
just have to say my thing. If this is your first episode of Baconsale, don't.
This is basically the Chris Farley show, of Baconsale. We're like, you remember that time when we did that thing?
When we did that
That
thing.
was awesome.
Yeah. Hey, look, we just want to congratulate ourselves for not missing a single week. We do about 48 episodes per year. We do
Plus
take a little
bacon bits.
break sometimes. Yeah, and bacon bits.
Yeah.
I missed 2 weeks.
You're okay. You have
We
reason.
collectively,
Baconsale didn't.
Baconsale approved, we don't miss a week. There we go. Right?
You just jinxed us now. Next month, next year's
honestly,
season's going to be terrible.
It's hard, right? Like we have vacations and everything, but we try to make it work. We try to be consistent for the listener. And so far, so good.
Yeah. And we have some quick stats for you about
Let's
the
do
past
it.
season.
Yes.
In case you were wondering how many guests we had on this season, we had 14 guests.
Wow.
On season 8. I'm going to run through them real quick. Just say a quick thank you to Adam and Rachel Crump on our Cars episode, Cruz, Stella, and Quigley on our pet episode. Emily Hannaford.
They count as guests?
Yes, they do. Emily Hannaford. We had them in the studio.
Yeah.
Emily Hannaford for the Bruce Willis episode. Chad, Mark, and Valerie for our 350th episode.
Awesome.
Including the part when they said, I am the listener. And like their death knell. That was hilarious. Alicia Bass on the Gilmore Girls episode, Christy Barber on the Fruit episode, Kyler on the Star Wars Trivia episode, Andrew Sanders on the David Lynch episode, Jake Swallow, or Juice Swallow on the D.B. Cooper episode, Allison Gall doing the movie score quiz, Dan Farnsworth doing the end of 2022 movie preview when Zack had a baby.
Oh.
Gloclin Daniel coming on Lord of the Rings category episode, Beaker on Haunted Locations Part 2, and Rocky and Steph on our Vacations episode.
Yes.
Thank you,
It's been
all
a
of you
great
guys for being
year.
there.
Thank
Yeah.
you, guests.
Our longest episode of this season was episode 343, Song of Songs, round 1, 1 hour and 58 minutes.
What?
That was almost a 2-hour episode of Baconsale.
That
So
can't
close.
happen again.
Well,
That's
as-
ridiculous.
Our shortest episode was episode 367, Name That Film Score, which came in at only 1 hour and 6 minutes.
Super tight.
Barely.
We had
over
one
that hour.
tight hour show.
Yeah.
How about that?
That was barely longer than our longest bacon bit, which was the Batman review at 49 minutes.
Oh, my goodness.
But that was a 3-hour movie. So
Yeah, that's
that
true.
made sense.
We had to go along with it.
Yeah.
We did. We had 13 bacon bits last year and 44 bacon bits.
And I would say the bacon bits were always longer than the bacon bits.
I can assure you they were, because I do
Yeah.
have average times here.
No way.
Please.
Yes. So the average, now I did eliminate 2 a bacon bit. So the average bacon bit review length, because we had 2 bacon bits that were the JK versus the listener and the pet show.
It was like 9
which
minutes
were
each.
short. So I eliminated them into my averages. Our average bacon bit review is 38.8 minutes.
Not
Still
bad
pretty
for a
long.
review.
Sure.
Yeah. It makes it, we generally try to keep it to 30 and fail.
Yeah.
Our average bacon bit length, you know, those 10-minute short little things.
Well, little chats before the show begins that we do for patrons.
41.3
Average
minutes.
is 41?
Average.
Joel, I'm so sorry.
Those are supposed to be 10 minutes.
Oh, my word.
With the longest bacon bits, in fact, there were 2 that tied at 53 minutes.
Whoa.
We had I believe 6 bacon bits over 50 minutes.
Wow.
The
Yeah.
shortest
We
bacon
just get chatting, and then all of a sudden I'm like looking at the clock like, you guys,
It's
we
a full
gotta
show
start
at that
recording.
point.
shortest bacon bit we had this year is 32 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
What's wrong with us?
We like each other.
Yeah, it's like we're friends. Jeez.
Now, obviously, that's just the kind of ancillary content, right? The
Sure.
Patreon stuff, the reviews on Bacon Bits. Now, let's talk about the actual show itself. Let's go back a couple years, shall we? Before Zach was on the show, in 2019,
I don't even
you were
remember.
doing great. 82 minutes average episode length. Right?
That's
An
not bad.
hour 22.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
And now in 2020, I joined the show.
Yeah.
Got 4 minutes longer, hour 26.
Yeah.
Last year, longer still, it was hour 28.
My goodness.
Average length. This year, congratulate yourselves, gentlemen. Went down.
Oh.
Wow.
Episodes on average were shorter this year.
Oh.
86.8 minutes, an hour and 26.
Yeah, not by much.
0.8 minutes. It was on average 1 minute shorter.
Okay, we're improving. We're trying to tighten up our shows.
So good.
Oh, man.
Tight hour.
Yeah, we say tight hour every
When
single
we sit
time.
down, we usually say it like tight hour show, right?
Yeah.
By the way, in case you're wondering, out of those hour 26 average episodes,
Sure.
I want to go over the most listened episodes
Okay.
of 2022.
Yeah.
This is a top 5?
Yes, it is. Coming
All
in
right.
at number 5, we have the 2022 Prediction Parade.
Shocking.
Our second episode of the
It's
season.
because people miss us.
Aw.
Because it's a funny show. It's not the best show, though.
No.
Yeah.
I enjoy it every
Yeah.
year. It's always a lot of fun.
Gold.
In fourth place, we have episode 354, Fruit by the Tier, our fruit episode.
Very
Makes
happy
sense.
that's up in the top 5.
Third place, it was the episode 345, the Song of Songs Tournament Finals.
Makes total
So finals
sense.
right there. Second place, thank goodness, was episode 351. We ate everything at KFC.
Yeah.
And I say thank goodness just because
We earned that.
Sometimes
Last year,
we-
the Subway show was kind of low. I know.
Was it really?
yeah, people
No one
didn't-
cared about Subway?
Not really. And then our most listened episode of 2022 was episode 343, the Song of Songs Tournament, the first one.
Yes. Song of Songs.
Wow.
Was
But that also says that like more people listen to that than the ending because
Yeah.
they heard the setup.
They're
and
like, I don't care what
we're
wins.
good. That was
Yeah.
really long. That was like an hour 58.
And the lowest downloaded episode is None of Your Business. It's actually last week's episode just because it's brand new.
Oh, it's brand new.
That's true.
Yeah.
Stats go that way. So then now we've gone through some stats. We've had some laughs.
Indeed.
Let's get into the categories. We normally do the show as a category show where we kind of pick our favorites and
Yeah.
least favorites of different categories. But let's start this.
All right.
First, we have favorite intro or outro, but we always pick intro.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's some fun outros.
Joel, what do you have for favorite intro?
Oh my gosh. The problem with these shows is I feel like I'm leaving some out because there's so many fun ones to pick.
That's why
from.
we're all here.
I know for sure throughout this year I said we're going to talk about that at the end of the year, and I might forget it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to forget some of them, but I just want to run through a couple.
You're going to do a couple, not just one?
No, I have one, but I do honorable mentions real quick, but I won't go on too much about it. The More Hunts Around the World episode that we did with Beaker.
Oh, yeah.
the This Is
That was
Halloween parody.
awesome.
That was fun.
Yeah,
It was,
he's got the
real
deep
quick.
voice
we
as
did it
well.
together.
Yeah.
Lynchian dynamics when Kent talked backwards and played it
I
forward.
could almost understand.
The
why.
best part was Kate Beckinsale's voice.
I had no idea what he
backwards.
said, but I'm pretty sure he said Mayor Milford like 20 times.
You did.
I did just now. Me and Kent reenacting A Few Good Men. That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Kent doing Johnny Cash, Folsom Prison Blues.
Oh,
as
Arkham Asylum.
Yeah,
That was
okay.
fun.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry if I'm taking your answers, but it's weird because whenever I do favorite intro, it's always a little weird to pick your own. Like, oh, this is one of my favorites, and it's one I did. 'Cause
But go
each week
on.
we switch off and we come up with that on ourselves and try and keep it secret from the others for some reason. Like
Yeah.
literally, Kent for this one was like, "Don't look at your screen until I,
just
say
sent you some lyrics.
You don't know the
read them
context.
yet.
Don't read them."
Yeah, we had no context, didn't know what it was.
We had no idea. But I am picking one that I did.
Nice.
For my favorite intro of the year. And it's because I didn't do it, but I did.
What?
Because I wrote the
Oh,
season
yes,
one
yes, yes.
intro, but I did not perform it.
It was really good.
That was Zachary with 2 E's.
Yes.
Who sang a parody of First Date.
Blink-182,
Blink-182's First Date.
Yeah.
And she did such a
Great voice,
I wrote
too.
the words, I sent it there, and she sang it so well that I was like, okay, that was awesome, but also that was almost off brand for Baconsale because it was too good.
Yeah.
Like you sang it well. So that was
Yeah,
my...
raise the bar, and then they're like, oh, it's the guys.
Yeah, so the episode 334, Best and Worst Movies of 2021, the female Baconsale intro.
You did great.
I got a kick out of it.
Yeah.
So that was fun to hear.
All right. Well, I went with episode 361, and I hate to use this one so soon in this episode, but it's Take a Chance on ABBA when we recorded
Wait.
Podcast Kings.
So you're not choosing that in any other category?
I mean, I may cheat later in the show.
Cheats.
I know, but that will come up. But I went with Podcast Kings mostly because I love it when, kind of like we did with the Muppets last year, when the three of us get together, we sing a song
do
together,
falsetto?
and we do falsetto. And on this one, we did kind of like I did in the intro, a little bit lower, a little bit higher. I recorded both, and then I put them together. So we have 6 parts of singing, and somehow it kind of worked.
I
we
really
are
like-
the Podcast Kings.
only heard and we're rarely
Rarely seen.
seen.
I just love when we have that unity. We gel okay.
We had fun.
Yeah, so
It's, that's the thing is we're not singing great, but we're having a good time doing it.
yeah. So that's my favorite intro.
Joel, my honorable mention is episode 334, which
Yep.
was the Bacon verse, which had the song,
Yes.
from Zachary with 2 E's. So that was my honorable mention. Was your pick? My pick was episode 361, Take a Chance on ABBA, Podcast Kings.
Yeah.
So I agree with both of you.
I saved it because I thought we could only use it once.
You can only use it once.
I thought we had a cheat. I forgot about that. We do a cheat where it's like you can use it for your favorite, but still use it for something else.
Correct.
Yes.
Dang it. I didn't do that this
You
year.
didn't do that?
No.
You still
Oh.
can.
I kept it pure this year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So then I will just give, I guess, a third honorable mention and a shout out. Again, I was happy and enjoyed it. You guys played along, and it made me really happy. This is one of my intros, but it was episode 369, Keeping It Casual, where I did the server doing the birthday.
It
Yeah.
was so good.
That was really fun to
Yeah.
get you guys involved with. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to, I don't know, pat myself on the back for that one. But my official pick is Take a Chance on ABBA. Podcast Kings was
Super fun.
killer. Now we have most nostalgic episode.
All right, I went with episode 337. It's another schoolyard pick episode, and it was our video game sleepover.
Yeah.
It's called Video Game Party. And on this one, it was most nostalgic because, well, Joel and I were competing, which isn't nostalgic, but we were trying to do a draft of what we consider to be the best party games of all time through various generations. And so we were able to pick games like GoldenEye, Halo, Dance Dance Revolution, Mario Kart, Street Fighter, Streets of Rage, Mortal Kombat.
Streets of Rage 2.
Streets of Rage 2 specifically. And just because it reminded me of, well, sleepovers, which was my childhood, and trying to get my friend to come over or go over to someone's house because of the video games they had. And we were trying to get you, Zach,
Yes.
to choose. And you went on a scoring system. And it was really close. You did choose Joel's sleepover.
I did.
Which
It was
made
great.
me...
We had a great time.
It broke my heart. I cried for 3 days. My mom called your mom.
It wasn't
is a thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't the only contest you lost this year, but
Okay. But yeah, that was my most nostalgic.
My most nostalgic, because I'm the only one in the demographic, was episode 365, Battle of the Boy Bands.
Oh, yeah.
I really liked this format where we did, we mentioned it on the show too, where, we did this tight 16, team
Yeah,
seed
a
bracket.
one-episode bracket,
One
which are
episode
rare.
bracket. It was just really fun to go back and listen to those. I was on a road trip with not a road trip, but a long drive, about an hour-long drive with my wife as we were listening to this playlist. And the kids told us to be quiet because we were singing so much and so loudly. It was just a lot of fun to look back at those bands. And so it was a nostalgic time for these mostly 90s bands. What about you, Joel?
So, man, I have honorable mentions for so many of these.
Yeah,
but
go on.
It's going to be quick. My honorable mention was to episode 342, Cars.
Yeah.
I say it that way, but it's because I was like a Cars episode, but as I started thinking about the Cars in my past, there
It was your
dug up
history.
some good
Yeah.
memories. It became the memories of our Cars episode, and I really did like that. But my number one is going to be, for this, is going to be episode 380, Vacation, All We Ever Wanted.
Nice.
Both these are guest shows, by
Yes.
the way, the Crumps and the Harpers, but it was fun to go back and read all those journal entries about all these vacations that we went on. And I got to pull these fun memories from my past with my family growing up and my family now. So that was the most nostalgic, was definitely one of those two, probably the vacation one.
Now we'll move to favorite cover art.
Let's pat Kent on the back.
Hey, guys. How's
Ken
it
on the
going?
back.
What's up?
I actually, I do, like, as much as Kent puts the effort into making these pictures.
I really thought you just said, as much as Kent puts the F word into the
Actually, secretly,
effort.
it's like Disney movies from the 90s.
No, but it's funny because I still gain some enjoyment whenever someone says, "Oh, Kent, great cover art." I'm like, "Yeah, it is."
Pretty fun. But also, I shouldn't get all the credit. I say this every year, but I get feedback Sunday night. That's basically like feedback for 2 hours, guys. What does this need, guys?
Okay, I'm
how can
just.
this be better?
Can I jump in really quickly? I think
sure.
I'm first.
You are first.
But I want to. I went through the list, and these are the things that Kent did this year that I feel like were the most creative. He made us into the following: Pringles guys,
Yes. Sure.
sports trophies,
Yeah.
which
We had to pose for that one.
Yeah.
I had to hold a baseball like I knew how.
he made us into Arkham guards,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oscars,
Yes.
which
Right.
my wife said freak her out. They look like skeletons, and she hated it.
You're welcome.
It was good. Good job. You made us into the Colonel Sanders KFC logo.
Yeah, that was fun.
You made us into DB Cooper sketches.
Yes.
Yeah.
Paper dolls and haunted dolls as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You made them clearly us. And so you are an expert at somehow translating hair
It's always
or
funny
eyebrows
how he
into
does
being
just
us.
something to make it. Oh, that's me.
It's hair, eyebrows, and facial hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joel's got the dimples.
Hey.
You know, he's got slightly smaller eyebrows. Zach, you've got the
tall hair and the beard.
the pompadour hair.
Yeah.
And I've got like the 5 o'clock shadow and the weird devious eyebrows.
And a smirk.
Yeah,
Always,
the smirk.
Kent always has a
Yeah.
smirk.
So as far as favorite cover art, honestly, all those could be on the list, and a lot of those episodes were used for other categories here, so I'm not going to put them out there. But I think we had some really fun photo shoot type of art this year. One of them is going to come up later. I want to give an honorable mention to episode 353. You had me at Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
I really liked that one where, Kent, you were the Mission Impossible, like hanging. Joel was sliding in for risky business, and I was on the couch. That's
up. So
really
fun.
good. It's like simple, but it's really
That
good.
was one of those fun moments too, when it's just like, I mean, I literally was getting in basketball shorts and sliding across the floor over and over again for pictures.
And
trying
you
to get
didn't
the right
need to.
take.
You could just stand there.
I could have just stood there, but I wanted to do the right take. And I know Kent was laying on the ground, like flat on the ground with that black suit. Like,
Did I
arms
send you
spread.
the outtakes?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm going to just say my official pick here is episode 374, Freaky Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
There's something, as I'm scrolling through, there's
Interesting.
something about that art I just love. It's
I agree.
it's a good photo
So
shoot.
it's Jason behind us.
And I think it's like, weirdly enough, like one of your best Photoshop jobs of like, we all look like we're legitimately sitting around a fire.
Well, on logs when we were literally sitting on a sprinkler box outside.
Yeah, and that's one of the benefits. We all took the picture at the same time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we did different poses. We obviously brought in a guitar for
The
Zach.
guitar is real. And then you did the various versions of Jason getting closer to us.
Yeah.
Which she made into a GIF. And then, like, if you're not following us on Instagram, you're kind of missing out because we do Instagram stories. And that was one where I got to play around with that GIF of Jason coming up and like blood splatter and
So
have fun with
fun.
that.
And just the Baconsale logo above our heads, like
Yeah.
it's
With Jason's
it's
head, no.
clean, it's good. So you do a lot of creative art and creating as far as the drawing goes. But
I
this is a
started
good
using
episode.
Photoshop and Illustrator this year.
Did you?
Yeah.
Not Pixelmator anymore?
Pixelmator for life. Okay.
Anyway, I've done a lot on this one, but it's great. Good job, Ken.
Thanks.
Joel?
Shucks.
I want to give an honorable mention just to episode 356, a more civilized Star Wars quiz.
Oh, that was on my list.
so
Because
fun.
all it was us holding lightsabers, and we all we put in the different crystal and then take a picture, and different crystal, take a picture of different colors. And then we had Kent's mom out there, and they were like, let's all pose together. Okay, let's all get one together. Okay, let's do some over here. I was like, it felt like a wedding photo shoot. And the whole time I'm like,
we got 37
I'm
pictures.
like, Kyler's got to go, guys.
And he did.
He
It was
really
like
did.
1:30 in the morning.
He was so tired and he had so far to drive, and I felt so bad. But then the picture came out, and I'm like, that looks good.
Yeah.
It's
We're
really
pretty cool.
striking.
But we took more pictures for that than I think any other
we did.
other photo shoot
Yeah.
we've done. But my number one, and it's just a fun picture, but it really is the reason behind the picture, was episode 337, Schoolyard Pick Video Game Party.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because we were literally having a pillow fight on a bed, and Kent's mom was taking a picture of
Once
us.
again.
and my mom was here.
Yeah, she was. That's right. She was in the room too.
And my wife.
They were all here,
mom
and
and
we're
my
in there
wife.
swatting each other's pillows, and we just said, snap a couple photos as we're doing this.
Photos and video.
Yes.
And you like Kent's direction was like, you have to giggle.
No,
Yes.
we didn't have to giggle. We giggled.
And that's, if you look at that picture, episode 337, you can see it in our faces that we are genuinely laughing about
So
how
many of the pictures
stupid we
didn't
are.
work out because we were dying.
Yeah. And then Kent did,
And I think you hit us really hard, Joel.
I did.
Like you were really playing.
well, I was having fun. And then
Yeah.
Kent, you added in like the posters in the background to make it really nostalgic for me. So that was one where I looked at that picture and I just went, that makes me happy.
I
Yeah.
used that one for another category, but it truthfully is the number one. It's that one and last year's musical. Like
We're
Sound of
spinning
Music,
around, yes.
that are
Mercy.
like I will remember those when I'm on my deathbed.
Truly.
so good.
All right, mine is episode 366, Bad to School Outfits. This
Yeah.
one became a kind of an inkling of idea. Joel's like, hey, do this. And I was like, paper dolls?
I was like, you know those paper dolls?
And I was like this? And maybe I was going to just have three of us, our large cutouts, and just our faces on those dolls.
Yeah.
And then it became a passion project all weekend. And I was like, okay, what kind of clothing do we talk about? I'm going to recreate that. And honestly, I made it all different layers with PNGs. Just so if people wanted to make the paper dolls, they could.
You call them PNGs?
Yeah.
I call them pings.
Is it pinks?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just messing with you.
But yeah, just so people could actually create their own paper dolls of
And
us.
people did, like, people
Yeah.
took those and they're making their own, like, art. Like, people
Yeah.
took the different clothes and put them on us, and I thought that was hilarious.
It was, honestly, I just kept going, and I'm like, I could do this forever. And then dressing us up, honestly, dressing you, Joel, because Joel, you had the best outfit. And by best, I mean worst.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, it was amazing. So, yeah,
I
it
will
was fun
I'll
to make.
bring that up one later.
All right, now we've given Kent some credit. Now let's talk about Joel for a minute. We're doing the best blurb.
Which is the description of each episode. If you go on iTunes, you can read it, or baconsale.com. I honestly don't know if people read them. Like,
They
some
should.
people do, but I'm like, some people just push play and they don't really read what the episode's about.
Yeah,
So
it's worth your time. There's generally some nuggets in there. Speaking of nuggets, mine is from episode 351. We ate everything at KFC. I'm just going to read it. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Baconsale has conquered yet another restaurant, KFC. We've eaten every Kentucky Fried item on the menu, and we're ready to talk turkey or chicken. Zack is a recent convert to the Colonel's secret recipe, while Joel fears the franchise closest to his home.
True.
You kept saying the whole episode. I think this one by me. And Kent has tender feelings about thighs. We'll also be chatting about our latest Menu Quest experience, discussing the history of Kentucky Fried Chicken, and giving answers for such categories as best cut, worst side, guilty pleasure, and original recipe versus extra crispy. Listen as we uncover possible strawberry lemonade conspiracies, reveal one host's gravy obsession, and explain the benefits of sheep's bladders. Stop licking the 11 herbs and spices off your fingers and press play.
Yeah.
So
If that
good.
doesn't make you want to listen to the episode, nothing
It kind
will.
of makes me hungry. Yeah.
I was hungry now.
Yeah.
No, that's I love that. It's descriptive, and it's reminding me of these subtle moments that we had throughout the show. It's a great job.
Thank you.
And
Yeah,
literally,
truly.
in reading that, made me want to listen to the
Do you feel
episode
awkward
again.
when we're praising you from the images?
Yeah,
'Cause
so are you
I feel
kind of feeling
awkward
that
right
way?
now. Yeah.
So what do you choose for yourself, Joel?
It's kind of weird because there were a bunch that I remember writing and had a good time. Like I love doing the kind of I call them the candy bar blurbs.
Yes.
Where it's usually
The Song of
tournaments
Songs is generally a good
where
one.
I'll take a phrase out and I'll try and fit it in a sentence. So it's just all the song titles are kind of hidden in there.
Yeah.
But I actually went with a bacon bit this year.
We did last year.
Can I ask if it's the Oscar winner?
It is
bit?
the Oscar. Is that
Can
what
I
you
read it
chose?
for you? Because it's
Sure.
what I chose.
Well, can I set it up real quick?
Yes,
first?
please.
So this year the Oscars happened, and everyone was talking about a certain moment to the point where when I wrote this bacon bit, it was kind of tired and done. All the jokes were out there, and I was like, man, I don't really want to come out and say that Will Smith had slapped Chris Rock. Because that seemed a little obvious. So I went with, I can't go ahead.
The Academy Awards have been hit hard with low ratings lately, which has been quite a blow to Hollywood's ego. However, this year's Oscars clapped back and scored the second lowest viewership ever. They think they deserve a pat on the back or face. But we're going to critique how the ceremony went, even when things went out of whack. Joel, Kent, and Zack are going to attack their predictions from the past and punch up this dry bacon bit, which was true, with a little bit of humor, with some smack talk. We're going to strike every award category and announce each winner, along with the winner among Baconsale hosts and the winner of our 94th Academy Award Listener Ballot Bash. Press play to become a vessel of love. Gotta end it that way.
That was literally me going to
it's-
a thesaurus and
The
being like,
meme has been so overdone.
yeah.
But at the same time, every single pun in there it made it worth reading. Every single
Thank you.
sentence.
That was your choice as well then?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I'm glad you noticed that one. That was a fun one to write.
That description really slaps. Right, then let's move to the strangest episode format or topic. Joel, why don't you start us?
Honorable mentions to episode 359, What a Grill Wants, an episode about meat. But it worked. It was fun.
It is your
People
first
were-
plate, your second plate at a barbecue. You know?
People were like, wait a minute, you're doing an episode on what? And then they listened to it and were like, yeah, we changed the menu because of you.
Yeah,
I think Valerie
barbecue
Logan
menu.
said that
Yeah.
I think she
specifically.
did. And also an honorable mention to episode 355, Australian for Podcast. How do these country episodes keep being so entertaining?
I know.
And what country should we do next?
The Isle of Man would be next.
We have a lot of listeners there.
we do, weirdly.
A lot of listener. But my strangest topic, we've kind of talked about it a little bit before on this episode, but I'm going with episode 374, Freaky Friday the 13th.
All right.
Because this was an experiment. This
Right.
was a true crime story, a partially
Do
scripted
people
episode
know
of
there was a
Baconsale.
script at the beginning of that episode?
Patrons know because we released it on Patreon.
Yeah.
But it was the beginning
We
of the episode
looked
was
at it
this,
as if it was really happening.
Kent, literally what was it, 20 pages?
Yeah, 20 pages.
Of script, and we were going through it trying to make it sound as natural as possible.
And fun, because it's real. The plots of the Friday the 13th movies are not good.
But the way we did, we tried, we punched up the script a bit, trying to put jokes everywhere we could. And then it became this other episode at the end of us actually talking about the movies. And so it was this kind of cool hybrid where I was like, this is weird. Is it going to work?
Yeah.
And I had a blast doing it. Like, honestly, that
was really fun.
That episode was more entertaining to me than any Friday the 13th movie. So,
Low bar.
yeah. So if you haven't listened to Freaky Friday the 13th, even if you're not a fan of the franchise, go back and listen and see if you can tell when the scripted ends.
Yeah, it's when it stops getting so stiff.
True story.
Yeah.
Mine is episode 362, Hanging with DB Cooper.
Yep.
So Joel reached
Yeah.
out on this one, and he's like, hey, our guest is Jake, the Cooler King Swallow. I've been talking to him behind the scenes, and he wants to just talk about one story. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, he really likes DB Cooper. And I'm like, cool. Should we each bring our own? Should we each bring two? Because I overthink.
Right.
And I go, one story is not good enough for an episode. We can't fill an hour with one story. Granted, I mean, come on.
We can.
Hour-
Look at our
hour
bacon
with
bits.
Hour 26
we
minutes
fill those
with
bacon
anything.
bits with nothing.
And so you're like, yeah, let's just go with the DB Cooper story. And you said, I'm going to start watching a documentary. I'm going to read a whole bunch of articles. And I'm like, cool, I'll try it. Jake can bring his own expertise. I got obsessed with this. And it made me go, okay, I think we could tackle more true crime stories.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So yeah,
I shouted that out in an honorable mention. I think legitimately doing like a true crime episode
It's fascinating
was
too,
interesting.
right?
And I see why so many podcasts do it and why people listen.
yeah.
And I feel like even though so many other podcasts have done DB Cooper episodes, serious true crime type episodes, I feel like we were able to put our Baconsale spin on it.
I agree.
Yeah,
to
we
make
did
it
a pitch
us.
at the end as
yeah.
well. So
yeah, we kind of ended it for people.
I started watching Mad Men and couldn't unsee the connection.
Yeah.
Draper's DB Cooper.
Yeah. So for mine, I will give another honorable mention. This one doesn't really count. It was an April Fool's, but we did the pet show, and not a show about pets. It was a show starring our pets, and that was just the weirdest thing. But it was just a fun.
But
kind
hold on, they weren't starring our pets at all.
Those were sound effects.
It was,
From YouTube.
No, stop. Sound effects. Stop. It was real.
Podcast magic.
Although I did literally go online and look for a Vizsla barking.
Yeah, you did find that. Yes.
So it would be like sound like my dog.
But for mine, it's kind of simple, really. But it was episode 341, Holy Rogues Ranking Batman. This is just a tiering episode with a twist.
Right.
We took. It was doing a tiering episode, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, but we took a narrative spin to it, and it wasn't which villain is the best. It was how much do we want to lock them away?
We were gods. Remember, we had accents
We had
sometimes.
gods. Sometimes we did.
Off and on
Sometimes we didn't.
accents.
And then Kent was baking cakes for Harley Quinn and bringing.
I was
in
trying to break her
flowers
out.
and
Yeah.
and
She promised me a lot.
so rather than it just being kind of the straightforward, which I mean people like and we like doing the tiering,
But like we
was
fought
fun.
over how dangerous these villains were.
right,
Yeah.
and it was
And the listener
almost
fought too.
Yeah.
putting ourselves in that scenario and again taking that narrative spin was a subtle but I think effective way to change up a fairly typical Baconsale episode. So for me, while talking about Batman villains isn't weird and tiering isn't weird, again just that different approach really made this memorable to me.
Yeah. And can't even put in different sound effects for each door that we were closing on people.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was
you
like the more, the heavier door or
Stronger
the
doors and
stronger door.
whatnot.
Yeah.
Now we'll talk about which episode took the most work. Kent.
I don't think this will be your choice, Zach, for reasons, and you can maybe talk about it, but it's episode 351. We ate everything at KFC. Food challenges are always this
work.
way. Granted, KFC is among the least amount of work of any food challenge.
Substantially less than
Yeah.
Subway.
Oh my gosh, I'm still
no
traumatized.
episode we ever do will be worse as far as work goes.
And
than
Zach,
Subway.
I know your workplace is pretty close to a KFC, which is rare.
Yeah, I'm a 2-minute drive tops.
Yeah, I could give an honorable mention to our anniversary show because we always have guests. We always kind of have to pack it in pretty tight. But
It's a lot of work.
The food shows is always a lot of work because of the notes you have to take of every item, the different flavors of chicken tenders, right? And the fact that I take a long time to do these shows. Joel and Zach,
always on a diet
you
every
guys,
time we do it.
and I'm going to be again this year. You guys are racing always for these shows, and it just makes me laugh so hard. And just moments from that episode, like the Canadian milk bag soda, you hitting your local KFC,
so scary.
Zach being obsessed with gravy,
Way too obsessed.
and biscuits are the best.
Well, don't forget that was the honorable Zack.
Yeah.
Who got to the finish line, who got right up to the finish line, then went, no, Joel, after you. And he let me finish first.
You
So
know those
my
inspiring,
fragile ego.
You know those inspiring videos of runners who like pass out and their buddies help them.
Yes,
It was
that's
that.
what it was. Yeah.
So yeah, that was a lot of investment. But
for me, as
loved
far
it.
as food episodes go this year, I've actually found the Baskin-Robbins challenge to be a little bit more work.
Really?
Well, because
surprisingly.
you guys were eating like 4 scoops a day for like 2 weeks. Straight.
We didn't have ice cream buddies.
You had the choice of watching a couple silent movies or like 20 flavors of ice cream.
both.
So the episode that I actually picked that took the most work was episode 377, Silent Movie Sampler Platter, because it took us all year, like beginning of January.
I literally sent it on January.
Joel sends this list of movies.
2022.
So working up the motivation to watch the movies.
Because I had to sit down, I had to pay attention.
You do.
And I had to change my brain a little bit. Now, I think about halfway through the movies, I was in tune with sort of the rhythm that you need to be in to watch these. So it didn't become as much work, but it still required focus. And I found myself, and I never do this with any movie, I can't background watch pretty much any movie, but with these, I straight up had to rewind multiple times.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I've lost focus or something. It's like when you're reading a book and you go back a few pages.
It is mental concentration effort that is not required for a lot of movies of today.
Yeah.
Yes. So because I had to focus and because it took us like 10 months to do silent movie sample.
And we're
player.
better for it.
Yeah. Truthfully, it was worth my time, and I've noticed their influence in film. And thank you for having us do it.
You're welcome. Thank you for finally doing it.
It took a little work.
Yeah. So for me, it was obviously the Bacon Bit Pet Show with Cruz, Quigley, and Stella. Just wrangling them, and
Sure.
that's not what I picked. Ken, I picked the same one as you because I think my heart probably did the most work for episode 351. We ate everything at KFC.
There were some struggles, right?
That was the only challenge where I went, do I need to stop this for health reasons? Like there was a point where I kind of went, I don't feel good. And this was not like I was like eating, 20 things of chicken every day. This was just kind of every day for lunch. I'd go there, order the next thing on the menu, just a regular size meal. I wouldn't binge each time. I was working at a steady pace. But there was a time when just kind of like, I was like, is my heart okay?
Yeah.
As far as I know, I'm
greasy.
okay.
Yeah.
But, and I braved the KFC by my house, which was a big deal. But I couldn't go to that one. I actually tried to avoid that one, so I kept having to go to a farther one each time. So that was a lot of work. And like you said, taking notes for months and remembering everything. And so KFC.
Now we'll do our favorite music moment. There's always lots of musical moments.
Whether it's an intro or something in the middle of the show.
Joel?
So honorable mention to the song that has permeated my brain for the last year. And you just sang it on the Bacon Bit we just did. Coke Zero. Coke Zero. The Batman theme.
Anytime we talk about it.
Anytime that Batman theme from this past year comes on, I think Coke Zero. And I don't even think there was a guest that night, so I don't know why. Was there a guest that night?
Yes, it was.
Was it animated
Crumps.
Batman? That's right, because we recorded animated before
those drinks.
Podcast Magic. I recorded everything, but that was their drinks, and so to remember, I sang it to the Batman tune.
Which is now
by
a
Michael
thing.
Giacchino.
It's a meme going around, like the Indiana Jones theme is Dr. Pepper, Mr. Bibb.
Yeah.
So you were just ahead of the trend.
Apparently I was. But no, my favorite music moment was a random moment between Zack and I. Kent, you're not included. Because it was while you and Kyler were tallying up
Joel,
score.
it's my same choice because here is my perspective. Kyler is taking score. This is episode 356, a more civilized Star Wars quiz. And Kyler's being very serious. He's like, okay, Zach got 4, Joel got 2, Kent, you got 0.
You can hear him in the background going,
right,
1,
counting
2.
And I'm trying to help him like, okay, that round, Zach has the lead. Okay, blah, blah, blah. You guys. And it was white noise to he and I at that time.
Yeah.
You guys, for about 7 minutes. What were you doing?
We were sitting there just making Star Wars music. Like, Zach just started, or Zach or I can't remember who started, but it started going.
Yeah, it started with that. And I remember when it was going on, and my wife was looking at the timestamp, and she's like, it had felt like it had been going on a while.
Yeah.
And she's like, there's still like a minute and a half left.
Yeah.
And we just kept going.
Well, and it became a game too, where like we'd end one, just like I'd do a little Star Wars music here, and then we'd like think of another song. So it'd be like, we'll try to think of another one.
Oh, well, why don't I just give you a little sampling? Because it's absolutely my pick too.
Hey!
Okay.
You can hear the background counting.
4, 3, 4, 3, 1.
We're doing the serious one.
I sound so drunk.
In the shallow. Then we go into shallow for some reason. But they kept counting. So they kept going.
So there's a point where I'm like, I'm missing out on this. Like, this is not cool. What are you guys doing? You're playing a game? I didn't really hear the whole scope of it until editing.
Yeah.
And then I put it mostly at the end.
And that's what I was going to say. You didn't hear this unless you listened to the outro music at the end when we do clips of the show. And
you guys sound so drunk.
we were slap happy by that point. But that was just one of those fun episodes where it just out of nowhere, impromptu music moment. And I quite enjoyed it.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
We all agree.
Yes, we do. That was a fun time.
But there are lots of
another plug to listen to all the way to the end of the Baconsale episodes because there's fun at the end.
There's lots of good moments, but that really is my favorite. Now let's talk about the most entertaining research.
So many choices.
Kent, why don't you start?
So many choices. I think I have a tie here because, Zach, you mentioned one. The winner would probably be the Batman episode, the Arkham Villains one.
Yeah,
because
it's fun to look at.
It's like you got to look at their powers and abilities and be in fear of what they could actually do to you.
Well, and actually, like not necessarily most entertaining research, but that episode caused me to play Arkham Asylum and Arkham City afterward.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just love there's a moment where I said, quit bullying people. They'll become Batman villains. And Joel just threw in, the more you know. Kills me. But also tied with that one is episode 370. This is the episode with Glow, and it's the Fellowship of the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it was fun.
And the episode was a big hit. I was worried because I'm like, oh, fantasy shows, I don't know how it will do. But it's like a real heart choice. And I think everyone really just felt so magical about that episode too, because it's Lord of the Rings. Super great. Except people were very upset because we mispronounced almost everything in the books.
Yeah, it's true.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, his name is not Frodo.
Is there a way to mispronounce something that's in the book? Now, for my most entertaining research, obviously a lot of it's fun. This whole Baconsale thing has become like a social event for my life, for my job at the barbershop, watching stuff with my wife. Like it's always fun. But this one, I took entertaining a little bit differently, and it was more like a having people over type of entertaining. It was episode 336, It Ain't Easy Tearing Cheesy. Because
the chips one.
Bought tons and tons of chips.
You did. You brought the bag of bags,
and
the box of box.
And those ended up just living in the barbershop.
Yeah.
And I had them there, and we just would eat the chips, and we'd talk about them, and I had them for weeks after. But it was just really fun because it was like the research was, I'm going to eat these chips now.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Palate cleanser, try another chip.
wasn't the cheapest thing, but
Sure.
it was fun to do. So it was literally just like an entertaining bit of research of like, okay, well, I'm going to have these chips. Oh, baked ones are very bad. So never mind. Throw that bag away.
They are bad.
All right, Joel.
Well, it's kind of a weird category, saying most entertaining research, because almost all Baconsale research is entertaining. That's kind of why we do it.
Yeah.
That's why I do 20 something pages of notes for something that's an hour long. Honorable mention here to episode 362, Hanging with DB Cooper, because I love that story. I love diving in again.
Yeah,
I got new information
Yep.
that I was like, I didn't know that. I mean, like I've said it before on the podcast, my robot vacuum is named DB Cooper, and it's just one of those ridiculous things. But my most entertaining research is kind of a cheat, because it was the episode 371, We Stream for Ice Cream.
Yeah.
Because I went on these mini dates with my kids and my wife.
Okay, you win.
So we'd literally go there, we'd go and have this little one-on-one time, and I'd be like, okay, I'm going to get you ice cream, and it's on Baconsale. And it's awesome.
Yeah.
And it was an amazing experience. I got to have these wonderful, and it was right before my kids went into school, and so I was able to have these kind of back-to-school conversations with them. I gave my daughter a lot of rum-flavored things.
Yeah, you did.
And
She's 4. She's
quite a
4.
lush. Yeah. But it really was such a positive experience, and that I was able to burn through the flavors so quickly. We both got double scoops each time. So I was like, I'm said on the episode, I'll say it again, always have an ice cream buddy, because it's really fun.
That's so cute.
Now let's talk about the episode that deserves a sequel. Now, obviously, there's a lot of sequels this year. I actually looked at it. We're starting to get the box office top 10.
We're Hollywood.
We've got a lot of sequels.
Baconsale's gone Hollywood.
But there was a couple of sequels that came up from a show that's near and dear to my heart. Of course, the one featuring my wife.
My wife.
I didn't do it, but somebody did. And we talked about having the fruit show was so ridiculous, and yet we're going to have a vegetable show.
Well,
it's going to happen.
We talked about a nut show.
We talked about the nut show as
We did
well.
a meat show.
So those are going to happen at some point, probably.
Yes.
And it's goofy and funny. But one that I really liked was another guest, episode 367, named That Film Score.
Yeah.
I thought the film score quiz was super fun.
It was. YouTube hated it.
YouTube hates it, of course.
I liked it because
But-
I won.
Of course you did.
Did you win
Score bar.
something this year?
I did. I got the score bar.
You did. It's still over there.
Zach, what is your
You have not
title?
eaten the score bar that you won. It is literally
I know.
over there.
It's over there. Okay. Zach, what was your title for winning the Star Wars quiz?
I don't
Supreme
remember.
Chancellor?
Supreme, yeah.
Yeah.
Joel, what did you win this year?
The life.
I mean, that's true.
I don't remember.
No, you won something.
I think I won. Well, I won Team JK.
Anytime there's dinner on the line, Joel wins.
I put my heart and soul into it.
I won
You
a candy
the
bar.
Oscar. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you won a score bar. Congratulations. But great job, Allison,
Yeah.
on that one. That was a really fun quiz.
She did such a great job because it was relevant and palatable to everyone listening too, right?
Yeah.
Because we could do deep dive, and she made it consumable. That everyone could be like, I think I know this.
It also made us focus, which rarely happens.
Yes. Yeah.
But I'd love to
easy.
do it again. I think that was great, and it definitely deserves a sequel.
The funny thing about that was too is just how quickly we jump in with whatever our buzzer's in, to the point where Kent had to in post let the song play longer,
Yep.
just so that the listener could hear it, because we were so anxious to hit our buzzers.
Joel, what did you put?
I obviously put the Bacon Bit Pet Show with Cruz, Quigley, and Stella. I think we need round 2 with that. No, I put episode 377 Silent Movie Sampler Platter.
More silent movies?
Well, because I was so happy. Like, this was one where I was nervous about it, because I was like, this is a hard thing to sell. These are movies literally 100 years old. But I had multiple people message me and be like, hey, I watched this one. I liked it. Hey, I watched this one. That wasn't bad.
Or would you do a film history one?
Well, there are a bunch more silent movies that I could share. But you're right that it could be another thing. Like, okay, you've watched these older movies. What about these ones from like the 30s? And kind of giving people a chance to watch these older movies, because a lot of people don't. They just kind of see the movies of their era and they don't look back. Where I think expanding your horizon in both ways is really a great way to round out your film knowledge. So, yeah, I think there are more. A friend of mine actually did, Jeff. He posted on Twitter. He's like, what other movies would you do? And I kind of started looking at a couple of them. He offered a couple of them.
Well, give us a list. We'll take another year to watch them.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It was funny because one of the things I mentioned, I said, this one, and definitely not Battleship Potemkin, which is a Russian silent movie. And he said, no, definitely. We need to have that one on. The only thing it did good was influence The Untouchables with the carriage going down the stairs.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
We should do some more sampler platters in general. I think it's good.
Because we've done a documentary kind of starter kit. We did that one, although I think that could use a sequel too. There's a lot of good documentaries.
I'll talk about it soon.
Okay.
Kent, what did you have?
episode 372, our Halloween party playlist.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we struggle with Halloween because we love it so much. Zach, you're getting there.
Sure.
You're getting there.
You enjoyed that episode.
I did
And
enjoy
so
that episode.
We want
Yes,
everyone to listen to our October show. So we're like, let's start off the month with a bang. And this is an idea that Joel had for years, basically. And it was like, yeah, we've talked about scary music from movies. Let's talk about fun party music. And we've done category shows that are kind of similar for Christmas music, for example. But what if we threw a Halloween party? What kind of music should be there? And honestly, the show is a blast. We created a story within a story
what's
too.
The narrative of like, so you're going to the punch bowl.
We're back at the
this
punch
is
bowl again.
song.
Right? It's like we need to chill out for a little bit. Got to go get some Tums, so we need some driving music, all that stuff. I really think we could take several holidays. I mean, 4th of July, for example, would be a really good one to
That
do
would
a
be
party playlist.
Backyard barbecue party playlist.
So yeah, it deserves a sequel.
Now let's talk just moments. 3 favorite moments.
Could be on the show or off the show.
from
Exactly.
the year. On the show, off the show,
Yeah.
behind the scenes, whatnot. I'll start. And, well, really, it's already been mentioned, so I'll go to my alternate pick. It's the photo shoot of us at the sleepover.
That is my number one.
It's your number one.
Yeah.
Of the pillow fight?
Yeah, because we've done a few things where I'm like, hey guys, bring aprons tonight.
Yeah, because we're going to do a barbecue
And then
shoot.
I said, hey guys, because we record at night.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey guys, bring PJs.
Yep.
We're doing a PGA photo shoot.
I was in my Superman onesie.
Yeah.
I just got back from the grocery store.
We literally, yeah, you did, because of course you did. We literally had a mock pillow fight on my old bed that I grew up in that room, and we really had a pillow fight. And it was just, since we had guests as well, it was just so fun to, I mean, they were laughing at us as much as fun as we were having.
It was
as well.
insane.
Yeah.
We were definitely like young boys
Yes.
for that moment. It was so good. So, I mean, I guess because we've already talked about that one, I want to call out a moment that happened, and you can hear it at the end of the episode. And 343, the Song of Songs tournament.
I have that one as well.
It was Kent versus the staring cat.
That is also in my top 3 moments.
I have a picture of that cat. And it's so we're going along and we're recording. And Kent goes, no, there's a cat. There's a cat. He's looking at me.
Okay.
Hey, keep in mind, Zach and I could not see this cat.
So there's a window in my viewpoint here that you guys can kind of see, but you can't see exactly what I'm seeing. I felt like William Shatner in Nightmare at 20,000 Feet.
The
where I'm
Twilight
like,
Zone episode?
There's something on the wing, and you guys couldn't see the cat. You just saw me
Every
staring.
time I got up to look, nothing was there.
But this cat, for like 17 minutes, was staring at me.
17 minutes.
Okay, it was a few minutes. Was just giving me the evil
I have
eye.
a quote here I'd like to read.
Okay, go on.
He's giving me eyes. Did you see that?
That was as emphatic as I
Giving me
was.
eyes? By the way, that's. But I had a dual kind of favorite moment there because that was the episode where obviously the cat, Kent's freaking out about a cat sitting out the window.
Yeah,
but that's also the episode we were doing Song of Songs, and at one point we were doing Happy Birthday, and Kent's like, "Why don't you guys just sing Happy Birthday to me?" And it was literally my birthday.
The day we recorded it was your
my birthday. We recorded it. It gets like, sing happy birthday to
There
me.
was really a moment of realization. I'm so sorry, Joel.
You guys sing happy birthday
This
to me.
is your day. Also, that was the inception of Woofus Wainwright.
Woofus Wainwright.
It's a great episode.
It really is.
That freaking cat. And we've seen skunks.
Yeah, that was another episode. You
Last
freaked
year
out
was
about
spiders
skunk.
and small
Yep.
animals.
Yep. Bacon Cave's a crazy place, folks.
Should I give another one?
Go on. I feel like you're going to
Okay.
steal another one.
Speaking of long-running jokes now, episode 348, Twinner Winner, more song titles, was the birth of Homie.
Which I was going to say, I can't remember who started doing the growling noises.
So,
Like it was because at first it started as. I think you were doing that, and then I kind of went.
I feel like the listener caught on to it, though, and it was like, is that a Marge sound?
Yeah.
And because we didn't mean to, we were just getting frustrated.
But then it became throughout this entire season. Anytime someone gets mad, they're like, anytime someone goes, someone else will go, and then do some sort of pun that ends in Y. Like, I can't think of it, like, Jason Voorhees. Not that much, but
Yeah. Did you have that on your list at all?
No, but that's a great moment.
That was on yours?
Yeah.
So, okay, fine. I'll just do one more with the hope of no overlap. This was episode 358, Lynchian Dynamics. The classic Mayor Milford.
oh,
Joel trying so hard.
I don't know why.
That is on at the end of the episode.
You said it just now so effortlessly.
And the funny thing was, every time you got ready, you're like, I just got to say Mayor Milford. Milford.
Yeah, I could not get it out.
For about 4 minutes.
I cracked up just listening to it yesterday.
Yeah,
Milford. Mil.
Because Joel is like the trained actor among us, right?
Yeah.
Where he will say 3, 2, 1. Mir Milf. 3, 2, 1. Milf.
I could not get it.
It was amazing.
It was driving me nuts.
It's the Lurse of this season.
Lurse.
Yeah.
Yes. Hilarious job. All right. What do you guys have, gentlemen?
I'm going to go to one. Well, first, I want to do an honorable mention real quick. I don't think anyone did this, but I just thought it was hilarious. When I heard it again, I about died. Episode 368, end of 22, movie preview. When Kent called the Centennial Screamer at Lagoon the San Antonio Screamer.
Okay.
He literally he grew up.
I worked there
5-minute walk from
for
Lagoon.
4 years
He
as a
worked
teenager.
at Lagoon, and he called it the San Antonio Screamer.
Texas.
What? But no, my official choice was episode 336. It ain't easy being cheering cheesy. When we asked Zach, hey
Okay.
Zach,
Oh,
This is mine.
Okay, go for it
This is
then.
the moment.
Yes, go for it.
My favorite moments on the show is when Zach will laugh and not stop laughing.
we have to pause the recording because he's laughing so much.
So we're talking about Chester Cheetah. and we were talking about like how long the brand has been out there, what kind of slogans they had. And
we got our research in front of us.
Yeah, Zach's a little bit younger, and we're kind of like testing him, we're quizzing him.
Yeah, and Zach, I was gonna say Zach wasn't engaged at the time. He's probably
Right.
chilling over there. We're like, oh, is he paying attention?
Yeah.
Let's get him interacting a bit.
So Zach, what's the tagline for Cheetos?
He wears sunglasses.
That's what because we're thinking for it ain't easy being cheesy. Easy answer.
And you said, so Chester Cheetah is on the bag saying he wears sunglasses.
Oh, because you said Chester Cheetah. And I was
He was
stuck
off in another
there.
world.
I was stuck there.
And all
What's
he
his
heard was
tagline?
Chester Cheetah.
And
No.
it was as if you asked me, who's Chester Cheetah?
So we were dying. We stopped recording the show for a while.
We did.
It was literally 4 minutes long. Okay, and then we gave you another chance, Zach. I don't know if it was the same thing, but we're like,
come up with a slogan for.
come up with the slogan of this, and he says, "Do you know what?" I can't even do it justice.
He
We
trailed
need a
off.
clip, and then Joel and I died. And then we kept saying like Toyota's like, oh,
Yeah, we kept just like doing all the slogans and then trailing off.
'cause it was the least confident slogan of all time. Do you know? It's like, have you ever had a dream? Do what you want. Do it.
Yeah.
Zach, it was.
That was great.
I'll never forget it.
It was so
He wears sunglasses.
Yes, as I called it on the show, that was my Australia moment.
Yes.
Yeah, truly.
Those are all
Fun moments. Good moments on Baconsale.
All right, now let's go to a surprise hit episode, one that you didn't expect, but it took off.
Once again, I've got so many honorable mentions that I'm going to try to just go through these real quick.
Okay.
The 12 Tiers of Christmas episode, I'm pretty sure the listener was as surprised as we were. It
We
turned out to be
didn't
so much
think
fun.
so.
Guys, I went to a Christmas, a music party, kind of a sing-along deal,
Uh-huh.
and they sang the 12 Days of Christmas. I think I might like that song now because of
changed
this
you.
episode.
It was an amazing Zach attack. that we didn't think
was-
would work. We didn't think it was good enough for an episode.
That was one episode where we kept struggling trying to figure out how it was going to work.
I believe to the point where Joel was like, "We need this season to end."
I think I said we could all use a break.
We could use a break.
We were having
was
a hard
magic.
time. But then it became this kind of dual episode of tearing and then the death match at the end.
And the listener, they didn't think they'd like it either, but did.
Turned out well, and there were so many inside jokes on the image as well. We had a fun time creating that.
good time.
That was a
The
fun
image is amazing.
Also, an honorable mention to Gilmore Girls, only because I was surprised by how many people actually gave it a chance.
Yeah.
And I even struck a deal with Ryan Farron, on off the record deal where he would watch a couple episodes of Gilmore Girls, and I watched Alita Battle Angel. Even though
job.
I swore I never would.
Yeah.
But I did end up, we worked it out. But my number one surprise hit episode was episode 362, Bad to School Outfits.
Okay.
Because the paper dolls concept, like as we were talking, it was a MASH episode.
It was,
And
yeah.
once again, I was like, I don't know if talking about fashion is really going to work for us.
It's a very visual medium as well.
Yeah, and so
we don't have a fashion sense.
we were trying to describe it, but then as the episode wore on, and I just had the worst outfit in the world, which included Crocs, leg warmers, low-rise jeans, a T-shirt under a spaghetti strap dress, a Letterman jacket that I got from my boyfriend Randy, and a man bun. And we got to the end. We were so giddy during that because it got so stupid,
so good.
And at the end, I was like, "That was really really fun." And I'm like, "But is it gonna work?" But then that was one where people said, "I listened to that one," and then I immediately listened to it again.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, "Wow, that's surprising." And it got great listens, and people enjoyed it. Great
Unfortunately, I did have one person who came to the barbershop and a returning client, and they're like, "I checked your podcast out." I'm like, "Oh yeah, what episode did you listen to?" He's like, "You guys, you picked outfits for school." I'm like, "Oh no, that was the first episode you listened
With
to."
Jukos and Ugg boots.
Oh
and-
no.
Yeah. Heelys. Oh, the Heelys.
Oh,
the death of me.
But that was my surprise hit.
What about you, Kent?
Cars. Episode 342.
Mine
Cars.
as well. Episode
So
342,
this,
Cars.
and I'm going to say this is our 10th highest amount of downloads. And you say, oh, it's the 10th. Still really high for a car episode.
Yeah,
We've
very
gone-
visual.
With a PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah.
I built a PowerPoint presentation. Yeah.
We've gone so many seasons without even wanting to talk about cars.
Then
Zach,
Zach joined.
obviously very passionate.
Yes.
We have somehow avoided the movie Cars topic for years.
For years. And honestly, it will get a sequel at this point. And so many people listened and cared about it because, Joel, like you said, it was nostalgic. And we talked just about the SEXiest cars out there.
Well, and it was very relatable for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Again, barbershop conversation. For like 2 weeks, I was asking people, what was your first car?
Right.
And it spurred all this conversation.
Yeah.
It's an extremely relatable thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it became a surprise hit because so many people can relate. It's like our food episodes tend to be the most broad appeal.
Bread and butter.
Right? But
Yeah.
most everyone who listens to the podcast
And fairy sprinkles.
drives,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's relatable and turned out to be a hit. Who knew?
It was fun.
Now let's talk about our favorite listener interaction.
I went with episode 376, Spooky, Scary Story Time.
I did that as well.
Okay. And it maybe for the same reason. I mean, obviously, we got everyone's help that sent in stories.
Kent,
Amazing.
was it because of the skell?
Elton! So, Drew Cutler, I don't know if he had his sons do this or his sons volunteered the information.
You think he
but
forced them to do it?
Maybe. But Reed and Brecken.
Really, he did it.
This is from my son.
It's a Ghost Rider situation.
Yeah, truly. Well, he
Ghost
did a
Rider.
good job. And so, I mean, truly, there were some great moments on the show. Like, I read Reed's story called Skeleton Cell. Joel, you read Brecken's story.
Yes.
And you did it with these voices.
The spot-on impersonations, that I recall.
Honestly,
hey,
I'll never forget it.
done.
And there's very polite British Zack as well.
What are you doing in my house?
And there were these amazing stories, but I think my favorite interaction came afterwards, after the show.
Yep, that's
and
why I chose it as well.
And go ahead. I've been talking way too much.
So apparently, Drew Cutler's son's teacher,
Yes.
so his kid's teacher, the one that wrote the story, his teacher,
10 years old, by the way.
yeah, found out that that his story had been read on a podcast episode, and so they ended up showing that story, not the whole episode.
Yeah, thank you.
That story to his class, and I thought, what a fun moment for him. Like I imagine he was beaming with pride or shame. It depends which way we're going to go with this.
Yeah.
But it was just fun that he got to experience that, and that Drew came back and told us about it, and we're like, "That's awesome!"
It was great.
So I honestly hope it fuels his bug to write. Just get the creativity.
They're
out
fun
there.
stories, too.
Yeah. I did want to give an honorable mention too about just getting the suggestions for the Song of Songs and the worst Song of Songs.
Yeah.
Because just seeing what some people consider the best and some people consider the worst was so
And
fascinating.
the Beatles
to me.
showed up on both lists.
Same song
Same
showed up.
song.
On
Yeah.
both.
Ridiculous.
Multiple same songs. Lots of Aqua this year for
Yeah.
some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was fun too, just to see your reaction. So anytime we put a poll out there, please give your feedback because I love hearing
love
it.
it.
I think we might do some more of that next year.
Maybe.
Please. Well, I have a unique one based on my job. And that's my favorite moment with the listener is the various people that I've been able to see in the barbershop and cut their hair and have conversations about Baconsale. Just most recently, Ryan Farron stopped by and brought me the wassail that I like that you guys do not.
Oh,
Thank you,
lucky
Marley.
you.
I appreciate you. But, it's one of those extra things where, of course, we do this podcast, we interact on social media, and it's always a little surreal to see listener in the flesh.
Truly.
To have conversations. So when they come to my place of work and I, offer a service to them and just get to chit chat about that sort of thing. I mean, there's been, I think, at least a dozen, if not more, listener who have come in.
Literal interaction.
Literal interaction with listener.
Face-to-face stuff.
It's a great time. Anyone, you are welcome to come in and get a haircut and talk about Baconsale. It's always a good time. Although it's one of those things where it's like, please let me know up front that you listen to the show, so I can become Zack from Baconsale quicker than I'm Zack at the barbershop, because they're a little different.
Yeah.
But one wears sunglasses.
We wear sunglasses. One's smarter than the other. Okay, no.
Hopefully the
it's-
barber.
sometimes.
Yeah.
But really, thank you to everyone who's come out. There are several. I couldn't even name all the names. I couldn't remember. There's been so many, which is a great thing.
It really
for
is.
me.
Yeah.
So thank you.
That's
so
very
much.
cool.
It's awesome.
That's cool.
Now let's talk about the show we wish happened. I'll start here. I'm gonna. Well, let's start with my honorable mention. I really think we should have done a documentary show. I would like to put it on.
It's on the list.
Docket for next year.
Okay.
We've done. I mean, this is before I was on the show. I didn't have a chance to participate last time this topic was addressed. So I wish we'd done a documentary show and look forward to it next year. But really, my answer, I really would like to do the wife show.
Are you putting a plug?
Hey, hold on. That pause wasn't just dead air. He's staring at me right now.
I would like to do the wife show.
Okay, look. Are we putting a goal on this?
Hey, I'm letting you know right now, my wife is probably never coming on the show.
She did
She does not.
appear.
She does not like the spotlight.
Okay.
She's listening to this right now, and she's going to come up to me and just nod her head and be like, yeah,
Granted-
I'm not going on.
She has to, though. I mean, so when we all went to improv, right, I was very nervous to get up on stage. She really related to that. She was like, yeah, if Joel made me go up,
Yep.
I'd walk right out.
I've never called her up on stage whenever she's attended because I know she would not.
And I love
like
her
it.
honesty for that. But I feel like a wife show, granted, it would just be two right now, Zack. But I feel like it's to have that kind of conversation. Hopefully she would forget about the mic.
Yeah.
What do you guys say, like 2024?
Maybe.
Maybe.
It's on you, dude.
Okay. I love that so much.
Why? Yo.
Yeah. I can't commit to that show
I
quite yet.
understand. You've had a problem with that commitment for some time now.
Jeez.
All right, Joel, what do you have?
Mine was just one we talked about, and it's an unfinished thing. I want to do the musical movie episode part
and we
two.
will. We will,
'Cause
for sure.
We literally have a spreadsheet of ones we were watching, and you mentioned, 2 years ago. No, last season.
Yeah.
We did the musical part one, and we kind of chose them at random, but there's a bunch out there we still need to watch and finish, and I was hoping we get to do that this year, but hopefully next year we can finally finish that spreadsheet and kind of clear out that idea for
fun.
because it's still hanging around the back of my mind.
I've considered that one as well as a show that
I
wish
just
would
like
have
watching
happened.
musicals.
It's fun. And Kent?
The show I wish happened was also a wife show. Oh, see, context matters, Zach. See how sad that sounded?
Oh, no, I seem like a jerk.
No, for me, it's a live Podlywed game. So,
Yes.
when we did this earlier, is 2 years ago, a height of the pandemic, and Zach was the host with the most, but it was just the two of us,
Yes.
and it was so fun. You really put on your A game, Zach, and I was like, "This is cool, but it needs to be seen."
Yeah.
Right. And I think you proved that when we went to improv, you're ready to grandstand. And I would like Joel and I to face off against other people or just kind of do more live events. And I feel like the Podlywed game would be a show that we'd put out there and just fun to see.
We have some friends in the podcasting community
Indeed.
that we could, go against.
And so that's
for sure.
I'd like to put it on the list somewhere.
I love it.
Yeah.
I really think that'd be a blast. Now let's talk big accomplishments. What's your biggest accomplishment of the year?
So, I mean, on a personal note, I was able to go to Alaska and see the Northern Lights, which has been a big bucket list item for me. But I wanted to keep it more Baconsale focused.
Okay.
Yes, of course.
So while surviving the KFC challenge is,
Up there.
I already used that one. And so I'm going with an odd one, though, because it's not an episode. And it feels weird. It feels almost like a brag, but it's not a brag.
It should be a brag.
I just want to let you guys know that Baconsale is now on YouTube.
Yes.
That I went through and uploaded 505 episodes manually to YouTube.
And only like 3 of them were rejected.
Oh my gosh, no. And this is one of the reasons we don't post exclusively on YouTube is because there are just bots that go out and do copyright strikes, and then you have to appeal them. And it honestly goes like this. I put up a thing and it's like, hey, random company in Russia says this is their song. And I say, well, it's covered under fair use because X, Y, and Z. No, it's still our song. And
there's a couple of times where it wasn't even the song.
It wasn't even the right
Yes.
song. And those appeals drive me nuts, and they happen all the time. So, yes, I have uploaded more than 500 episodes to YouTube, but not every episode is available.
Can we
on
officially say it is now okay to subscribe?
Subscribe to Baconsale on YouTube. I'm
well
not going
done,
to
sir.
I'm not going to be spamming your feeds with constant uploads.
Yeah.
It is
to
now
the
going to be
point
just
that
weekly.
we almost crippled our podcast uploading software
Yeah.
one night.
Oh yeah, we should probably talk about that. This is more complicated than I need to get into right now. But all you need to know is that our Podbean feed,
Our server space, yeah.
they have the ability where you can download an MP4 that you can then upload to YouTube. So I was just downloading all the episodes one by one, all the MP4s, and then Kent goes to publish one.
And
one
this
evening.
was like 11th hour before the show
Literally,
was meant
it's
to go
about to
on.
publish the next morning.
11 o'clock.
Yeah, and all of a sudden Kent goes, "Guys, what's this message?" It just says you've uploaded too much this month.
And I was like, no, we haven't. It's been no different
We're
than
doing
any
our
other-
weekly
any other
podcast
month.
like
Yeah.
anything, and then I had to raise my hand and be like, "It's my fault."
YouTube.
Yeah. And so then I was talking to support. We're trying to get it figured out because we're publishing tomorrow. Like we have the episode ready to go.
Yeah.
And come to find out that I was using all the space with those video downloads.
But we worked it out.
We worked it out. We got it worked out. I just had to delete the ones that I'd already uploaded. And then once they were gone, we were fine again. But it's out there. And like I said, not every episode's going to be there. They are organized into seasons as well. But it's done. It's there. And that was one of those big items that I've been wanting to do for some time. We finally got it checked off. And not that YouTube is going to be a new avenue of Baconsale.
Yeah.
But it's more exposure. And if you can't listen to one of the other ways, that could be another avenue you could listen. So
Thank you, Joel. That
And
was
just
awesome.
in case the feed ever goes away, it's a potential archive.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about you, Kent?
Honorable mention is holding the first Baconsale Quick Wits night in 3 years.
Yeah.
Was it 3 years?
3 years. 2019 was the last one.
That's so weird.
Isn't that sad?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought it was awesome. We got to go back and, barring anything else, we'd like to do it every year. So
I agree.
But the winner is it's episode 377, Silent Movie Sampler Platter. It's 10 movies. And most of these movies
We watched like 40 Alfred Hitchcock
are
movies.
an hour and 10 minutes.
They're very short. Yes.
Not long.
And Joel gave us I think it was like every 3 months, like the grandmother guilt.
Yeah.
I
Like
didn't
Jewish
want to
grandmother
pester you,
guilt.
but I just kept being like, we could always do the sampler.
we could do those.
We could do the silent
Yeah,
one
if you wanted.
It's 10 movies.
And then we
Less
finally
than 10 hours.
we finally said, okay, we need to plan the end of the year shows. What should we do? Where are we going to fit in ice cream? When is it okay to talk about silent movies? And Zach, you and I are just like, okay, we have to do this. And mostly it wasn't even for the show. It was to get Joel off of our backs. And then once we did,
Your
we're like,
back's every 3 months.
yeah, right. We're like, oh, that was a good experience. And I feel like even though it's just 10 movies, the fact that when we actually made the effort, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
And I thank you guys. Thank you guys for
No,
finally
thank you.
doing it.
Sure. Now, you mentioned there are some obviously personal things that happened that are
Yes.
big in lives. Obviously, I animated a child that my wife 3D printed. That was pretty cool.
Hold on.
That is a weird way to put it. You had
I love this so much.
Yes, yes. Now, it's so funny, though. Between Quick Wits nights, I literally got divorced, remarried, and had a kid.
Yeah.
That's how much
Wow.
time happened
Crazy.
between Quick Wits nights.
That puts it in perspective. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's wrong? What's your problem, Ken?
My
to
goodness.
do the
So
web
many
show.
guilt trips.
Jeez. But it's similar to Joel's, but kind of a different angle on the same idea. Not just YouTube, but just generally advancing video in Baconsale. There's a lot of experimental stuff happening near the end of the year that I think during our break, I'm going to kind of solidify. And the goal in the next year is going to be able to put out full episodes of Baconsale in video form on YouTube.
Interesting.
Because we have all of the ability and the technology. So kind of
and those lives look fantastic with like the graphics and you're doing multiple cameras.
I'm more fascinated about what Zach is doing on his computer than talking to the camera.
Yeah.
Because he's throwing the logo up, right? And I'm like, that's so cool. How'd you do that?
Yeah.
And it's so fun. He gets like a different perspective. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's interesting because it takes me away from maybe the conversation. I become video producer, but it is.
Is that why you get up and walk around?
Yeah, that's why I get up and leave and eat food. I'm like, I'm not in on this conversation. But as far as accomplishments, just kind of getting to that point, getting the lives from being us holding a phone awkwardly with Chewbacca in the background, to actually having some higher production quality,
right?
Yeah,
and black curtains too.
Black curtains
that occasionally fall down.
Yes, yeah. But theoretically, it's only going to get better. As moving forward, but I think it's come a long way, and I'm happy.
I'm looking forward to those
Zach.
cool new videos with our cool new mixer.
Yeah. The most expensive piece of equipment we have, we don't use.
We're still learning.
Now let's talk about this is actually our final category. Our 3 favorite episodes. Now it could be episodes that have already been mentioned.
Yes, now I remember the
course.
cheat. I remember that.
Yeah,
But
so we can cheat here. That's okay.
Yes, if we
But did
used
you
it before,
not?
I didn't.
Wow.
Oh.
I forgot.
I know 2 of yours, and they're 2 of mine.
You think?
And I think they're 2 of Zach's. I think we have one anomaly.
Did you
here.
choose the Bacon Bit Pet episode with Stella
I
Quigley?
did.
And
It was
and
so
Cruz?
fun until they got in a fight.
They did. It's
really
kind of
sad.
awkward for everybody.
All right, I'm going to save the one I know we all have on our list till last.
You think?
I know.
You know.
So I'm going to talk about what I think is the anomaly because I know it's not on Joel's. And it's episode 371. We stream for ice cream.
Wow.
Yeah.
Favorite.
It is honestly one of my favorites, not only because the experience was so fun.
Because we bonded over Beach Day.
Yeah. Beach Day was... But just like the lines that we had, like, taste some South in your mouth. And I honestly think, like, putting more work into a show can make the episode more memorable for us. And this was a lot of work. And then, like you said, we talked about daiquiri ice. Joel, you got that with your 4-year-old.
Yes.
So fun. And even this is our transition, and this is a pat on the back for me, but we went from Scoopy to Spooky.
Oh, God. As we moved into the Halloween season.
But it was just fun, because usually at the end of the year, we do not a full menu. We generally go for a food type, but we're like Baskin-Robbins. It's straight up ice cream.
Yeah.
Let's do this. I loved it.
And we got it done right as we moved into winter.
Zach, do you have a choice you think that we may not have?
Maybe. How about episode 336? It ain't easy tearing cheese.
I don't have that.
I love the
fun.
chip episodes.
Yeah.
They're so ridiculous.
I think we're done with chips, though.
Oh, we are.
Moving on to crackers.
Well, on to the crackers. That's
And we're going to
fine.
include goldfish.
But there's just so many ridiculous quotes that come out of it. I mean, from the original episode where we got the bag of bags, and we've been carrying that on. We literally had 2 brackets based on that idea. But once again, I was really feeling like we couldn't recreate the magic. And we did. Like, it was good again.
Yeah.
And how did we do 2 shows about chips?
We did for cereal, too. And it worked
And
out.
we had a blast both times.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous. Going back, listening to the outro quotes, I'm just like, what?
By the way, you guys remember the I Love Funyuns song? Remember that?
Yes.
Flagged by YouTube.
Oh, rude.
Of all things. Of all things. No, but I actually, in looking back, I went, that is such a fun episode. I'll go back and listen to that one.
But not on YouTube.
Not on YouTube.
Well, maybe. I did dispute it.
Yeah. Joel?
Ooh, one that you guys didn't pick. Well, I'm going to go with episode 372, our Halloween party playlist.
Okay.
Because I think you already mentioned that one. And that one to me was kind of it was the culmination of the playlist I've been building up for years.
Yeah.
And so to be able to share that with people. And then we had our extended playlist on Spotify as well. I think patrons got access to that one. Where we were
the
able
spider
to
cut.
where it was like double the length of the the spider cut, and it was double the length of the previous one. And just being able to share those songs with others, like it was fun for me. It was fun for me, and it was fun also because people said like, hey, I was at a Halloween party,
right?
And I was able to put this on, and people loved it. And I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
Did you get punch?
So much punch.
Yeah, Halloween party playlist is on my list.
Kent?
I think you guys have this on your list. and it's episode 361. Take a chance on ABBA.
I have that one on my list.
I did not put it on.
What?
It is in my first alternate honorable mention.
Oh, man, this episode was so much fun. Granted, these tribute episodes, they run a little long.
They do.
Right?
And-
Because we do like top 5, bottom 5. We have categories in the middle. We do the
Plus
history of the
history of them.
band.
But
We
I-
sing a lot.
But honestly, from the fun falsetto intro to the interesting research, I learned so much about the band, to the peppy music, to the mirrored image for the episode image.
I love this episode art.
And to Zach singing, "When You're Gone." Or, Zach, I should allow you.
When you're gone.
There we go.
Pierce Brosnan in the room.
Yeah.
But this episode 371, Take a Chance on ABBA, it made me like ABBA more.
Me too.
Like normally, I think, Zach, you mentioned this episode.
The Queen episode we did a tribute for, the Rush episode we did a tribute for. I tired of those bands after, and I couldn't listen to them for a long time. After we were done with ABBA, I'm like, I like them more.
My kids, or was it my wife? One of them literally said to me after the episode aired, they're like, "Aren't you done doing research for this?" And I was like, "Yep."
Never
But I'm
done
still
with
take a
ABBA.
chance, take a chance, take a chance, take a chance. So yeah, that made me like ABBA more, and I appreciate the
Truly.
episode for it.
Yeah. Zach, what about you?
Technically a cheat, because this really is, it's 2 episodes, but it's kind of like Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. It's really one large episode. It's the Song of Songs.
The Song of
Tournament.
Songs.
The first one is so hilarious.
It is so funny.
There's inside jokes that come out of that are just that carried on through the season. But it was such a difficult bracket. There's always, with the one-hit wonders and the
It's like the same decade, right?
bands
Same
and the
genre or
stuff.
whatnot. Yeah.
There's always your cannon fodder.
Yeah.
And there really wasn't for this bracket. I mean, there were some that were like, that's your favorite song? That's weird. But every song you could see the angle, the defense. And there were so many impossible decisions throughout that bracket. But really, because it was almost too hard, I think made it more fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was definitely, as far as the brackets go, I mean, it was the number 1 listened to episode this season for a reason. It's worth going back to.
And I don't know, Ken, if you put the worst song of songs on your list.
I didn't.
Okay, I didn't put it on mine. It was close because that was one where I was like, this is so bizarre to be arguing for which song I don't want to hear more.
That we need to talk
but
about
I have
more.
to talk
Yeah.
about more.
Yeah.
And, honestly, I think My Humps by the Black Eyed Peas, spoiler alert, was the right choice for
Yeah.
worst song of songs.
I
So
agree.
I think we landed on the right place because it is an awful, terrible, horrible song
Truly,
that I
right.
never want to hear again. But, man, that was a fun one. Just both of those were so random and so
and
fun.
a different take on the idea of what we typically do with those brackets.
Yeah.
And it was just very enjoyable. And again, the bracket I will return to listen to again. Joel?
Well, then I'm probably going to pull the ripcord on the one we all chose.
Yeah, that's the one we all chose.
Episode 354, Fruit by the Tier.
Fruit by the
Indeed.
Tier is
fruit episode
the
is
number
our-
1 episode of the year for us.
You can't argue with a pregnant woman. That's what I learned on that show.
And only women eat fruit, apparently.
Fruits
Remember that,
are
Ken?
basically just pregnant blossoms.
Yeah. Zach, you said, are you women splitting fruit to me? Because that's where I learned that fruit is just so feminine. And I felt like as a straight white male, I couldn't talk about it anymore.
And obviously, this was the episode with my wife. We discussed this as I was preparing for this episode, and it's so hilarious.
Yeah.
Joel, you're in improv. The main concept of improv, the biggest thing is
Yes, and.
yes, and. My wife,
Meaning that you say yes to what people say and then you build on it.
yes, my wife comes on the show, and she just meant to say, as a mom, these are the snacks that are good for my kids, and somehow accidentally said, as a woman. And we never let it go. We just kept on with well, since we're men, we don't know anything.
Yeah.
I believe, Kent, you said, well, since I'm a man, I get my fruit from Haribo.
I mean, that's true, though.
Yeah.
Because it did become sort of a, hey, but watermelon flavor candy is amazing.
Oh, we all gushed over that.
It was a little weird.
But then this is the episode where I was on a road trip with this guy. I didn't really know that well, but we were kind of getting to know each other. And, we were taking some scouts to hike. And I was like, well, my son had this he has the podcast. If you're bored, we can listen to it. And I was like, what episode could I show to him? Because we don't really have the same entertainment likes. And I went, I'll just put on the fruit episode. And he, from what I could tell, he was engaged because at one point he turned to me, he's like, you don't like pineapple?
Okay, so let's back it up there. Because generally, I'm like, yeah, Joel's super agreeable. He likes things that are good. And then you were like the most hated person on the show after on social media.
I went full
loved
Kent
it when you
on
were
this
the villain.
episode.
Yeah.
I dared to be the villain of this episode.
Because you have very controversial takes.
For some reason, fruit is like the only thing I'm highly picky about when it comes to food.
Yeah.
And it definitely showed in that where I'm like, I think your wife was going to kill me when I said I didn't like peaches? Was it peaches? I think it was peaches.
I got to be honest. I'm pretty sure
Or
she had it
grapefruit.
out for you from the beginning.
Oh, she did.
She's like, he's gonna disagree.
She lashed out right at the beginning, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm in trouble."
The whole reason, the inspiration for the episode was the way we discussed grapefruit on the breakfast episode, like 2 seasons ago.
Which she did. Did you guys ever eat the grapefruit she gave you?
No, I spilled it on myself.
I have a video recorded somewhere.
You have my video. We were supposed to do a
I
Patreon
tried
video
to,
about
and
that.
it spilled all over me. It was months old and open. It was a disaster.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is the equivalent of kind of like how we'd recommend the breakfast tiering show
Yes.
from a couple years ago.
Yeah, this is become a gateway Baconsale.
This has
episode.
become an accessible episode for all.
Yeah.
Such quotes as "It's a pocket for a bug family" regarding raspberries.
Oh, that's true.
If you're buying pineapple, you're supporting the drug trade.
That is also true.
Joel said.
Don't do it.
And then me being, I will risk my life to eat a mango.
And you did.
I did
During the
several
ice cream
times.
challenge, you almost died.
Months later, I did almost die eating mango ice cream. And then Kent saying, the skin of a pear always looks like it just got into a fight.
So many
Poor
truths.
thing. You should have seen the other guy.
Yeah. That was fun, though. That was fun. So thank you to Babs for coming on to that show with us. She was a blast to have on.
It was fun.
Tell her not to hate me too much.
She doesn't. Big fan.
Yeah. But there you go. That is our season recap. But before we
love
end,
us.
Yes. We're going to take a break for a couple weeks now and recuperate so we can actually think of episode formats. We have issues with that, apparently.
Yeah.
But before we go, we'd like to give some love to every patron.
All of our patrons.
We do this at the end of the seasons just to kind of show a little bit of love to everyone who's supporting us in this endeavor. So you guys ready?
Kent, play some epic music.
Thank you to the following. Zack from Baconsale.
What?
I'm the very first patron.
You're on the
But you're
show.
still why?
It's fine.
Devin Hansen,
Spencer Thurman,
Adrian Vanderwecken,
Jeff Smith,
Spencer Larson,
Steve Hamilton,
Sean Purdy,
Drew Kimball,
Steve Hansen,
Brennan Gehrig,
Jill Reese,
Joel Jenkins,
Paula Greenwell-Mollis,
Drew Maxfield,
Mats,
David Stewart,
Duncan Jewell,
Cotton-Headed Ninny Muggins,
Ben Betts,
Anna Bravo,
Brian and Angela Bass,
Mikey Hales,
Kendall Eliason,
Alicia Toner,
Evan Sandquist,
Ashley Hellstern,
Rachel Allred,
Lori Sandquist,
Todd Callan,
Natalie and Mark,
Chase Hemingway,
Spence Minson,
Pam Chudley,
Jay,
KP,
Steve, I helped Kent lose 20 pounds, Chris Jansen,
Jana Martin,
Easton and Natalie Bingham,
Mary Cox,
Rachel Carlson,
Valerie Ilguth,
Kimberly McEwen,
Shauna Elliman,
Sam Ma,
Taylor Sanderson,
Eva Marie Pearson,
Andrea Harrison,
A. Bake,
P&E Rhodes,
Matt Smith,
Emily Kuntz,
Sean Sandquist,
Crew Dutler,
Spencer Myers,
Jake Hunter,
Brian Sorensen,
Mitchell Stones,
Matt Edwards,
Monica Harper,
Christine Western,
Verbus Vivum,
Justified Ancients of Mumu, Epic,
Heather Pease,
Mike Henson,
April Rain,
bestselling author Joanna Reeder,
Scott Sprague,
Lady Terry A. Finley,
Dave Kelly,
Ryan and Marley,
Adam and Rachel Crump,
Alicia Bass,
Rocky and Steph,
Brayden Winterton,
Jennifer Kilkowski,
Sir and Madam Hicks,
Debbie Foster,
Juice the Cooler King Swallow,
Casey Cummings,
Angela Plotz,
Nicole Exhausted Graveyard Postal Elf, number 29 Hale,
the one, the only Chris Anderson,
Stephen, everyone's favorite Ross,
Her Royal Highness Jessica Terry,
Star Wars expert Kyler,
Johnny English the Brick,
our favorite couple, the Madsons,
Glow Clan Daniel,
the other Josh.
and Beaker!
It's so funny. Those last few names felt very natural.
I did for some reason.
Oh yeah, they're putting a little more work into the names too, I guess.
Well, I guess that just about wraps up season 8 of Baconsale
Wow,
then.
another year,
It is.
guys.
We did it.
We're awesome.
We did it. But if you want to find me, you can find me 786Joel on Twitter. You can find-
Hold on. Actually, guys, for the final time in season 8, I have a Zack Attack.
What? I love these.
Yes. So you remember earlier in this year when we were joking around about creating an album about the terribly sung covers of popular songs?
Yeah, no, it was a bad suggestion.
I wasn't
Yeah.
allowed on the album.
Yeah.
But you guys were supposed
yeah,
to
even
be
though
on the
you
album.
can sing.
Nope. No.
Well, where are you going with this?
I actually reached out to a label.
A label like a record label?
Like a record label.
You contacted a record company about us recording bad songs.
Yep. I contacted A&M Records. I pitched the idea of the album, and they actually seemed pretty interested, which is kind of insane. But they are sending a representative over to the Bacon Cave tonight. Should be here any minute, honestly.
It's pretty late right now, but he's coming here right now.
It looks like they're sending, a William.
Wait, so Zach, you had someone come to the Bacon Cave. Like, we can go meet someone somewhere else. I'd rather not have a record executive come to the Bacon Cave.
What on earth is that?
It sounds like singing.
Zach, I don't think the guy from the record label is named William. I think they sent Will I Am to meet us.
The guy from the Black Eyed Peas?
Oh, no. They must have listened to the Worst Song of Songs bracket and heard that we made My Humps the worst song of all time.
My Humps by the Black Eyed Peas.
Even though I still kind of like it.
Don't even.
Let's get it started in here.
Mr. I Am, I hope we didn't offend you with our discussion about your song.
Sorry. We were just kidding around. We didn't mean any disrespect.
In this context, there's no disrespect, so when I bust my round, you break your necks.
Mr. I Am, General Peas, I want you all to know I defended your song. I think it's catchy. These two hated it. Don't take me.
Do want to hate on us. Do be envious. I know why they hating on us.
Zach, why would you throw us under the bus like that?
Come on.
Yeah, there's 4 of them and 3 of us.
I can't count.
I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night.
Let's just calm down and talk about this. There's no need for fighting or weapons.
Weapons?
I got that boom, boom, boom. Y'all getting hit with the boom, boom.
Fergie, you've got to talk to the others. Let them know that our podcast isn't a big deal. No one cares about what we think. Please calm the other members of the Black Eyed Peas down.
I drive these brothers crazy,
No! Don't drive them crazy. Calm them down, please. I'm begging you.
so don't pull on my hand, boy.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have grabbed your hand like that. But what do you say we go get some KFC after this? When this is all over.
I'ma start some drama. You don't want no drama.
Uh-oh, guys. I think we're in big trouble. Taboo is wearing 5 gold rings on each hand.
No.
Madness is what you demonstrate, and that's exactly how anger works and operates.
Please don't hurt us. Whatever happened to forgive and forget?
Whatever happened to the values of humanity? Whatever happened to the fairness and equality?
I guess that's a fair point.
I told you guys Hoopa Stink should have won that bracket. I mean, their name is Hoopa Stink. Hoopa Stink.
Come on, Black Eyed Peas. Where's the love?
Let's burn the roof. Let's get off. Louder! Louder!
Not the hair!
Louder!
Ow!
Louder!
I need that. Ow!
I'ma make you scream. Make you scream, make you scream.
Not the equipment!